Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Hannah. Today I decided I was going to follow along Olivia Rodrigo's Vogue makeup tutorial of her effortless skin and makeup look. So without further ado, let's go back in time to when I didn't have the makeup on. Bye. Alright, so as I said before, we are just going to be following Olivia Rodrigo's Vogue makeup tutorial. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the tutorial, follow along with hers and see if I can recreate it. She starts with doing her skincare, but I did already do mine. I am gonna start off with my lip oil. I did already put on actually the same lip balm that she did. Love that one so much. This is I believe newer product. I don't know. It's by a brand that I can't pronounce. I want to say Gisson. I genuinely don't know. I think these brands at this point just want you to look stupid when you're trying to make a video on them. It is an amazing lip oil and I love it so much, and I really liked that her lips just were natural and plumped and just with a balm on it, so I figured why not do the lip oil. I will say one of the things that I kind of hate about this lip oil is that you would think it would taste or smell really good because it's honey based. Didn't even mention that. This is a honey based lip oil. It really doesn't quite smell or taste of anything special, but that is okay. We digress. Okay, so next up she goes in with her BB cream. I'm using something very similar. This is actually just a tinted moisturizer. It's by Morphe. It's almost used up. It is one of my favorites. It's the Morphe Broad Spectrum sunscreen with SPF 30, but it's highly tinted, and I have been using it all throughout the summer and I'm in love with it. So I feel like it pretty much mimics a BB cream. Now I do prefer actually to go in with a beauty blender for this one. I have used my fingers a lot of times too. Both work great. It's just the fact that for me it makes my hands obviously very dirty, and it's genuinely just a laziness thing. I just don't want to get up and wash my hands right away. Okay, so as you can see, this is very sheer, but it just adds that little bit of color. It's definitely not like high coverage, anything like that. However, it just gives you such a nice glow and it lasts all day. Like, I swear to God, it's my favorite thing ever. Alright, so next up we have concealer, and for this I don't fluctuate much on at all. I still have the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't know really what I'm going to do when I run out aside from cry, because I've used it for so many years now. I'm kind of just putting it all over just to kind of add some extra coverage, but also just a little bit of glow, because this color and this shade is a lot lighter than the tinted moisturizer is. So I just like to add a little bit of like a lighter color to the mix, and then that way it just blends together really nicely, and it also makes you just glow to the gods just a little bit better. My biggest thing is just making sure that my concealer is always brighter underneath my eyes. My family genetics really cursed me, and we have suitcases under our eyes. Like, if we went on a plane, we would have to check our bags, and this could not be a carry-on. It's that bad. I always go in with a lighter color, but I also don't prefer anything too cakey underneath the eyes. That's like a big thing I look for. I'm very picky with my concealers, just given that I do have such bad under eye bags. So I don't want it to be too cakey, but I also don't want it to be too runny either and not like cover me up, because that bitch needs covered up. So yeah, so that's the finished concealer and tinted moisturizer. Now I'm just going to go in with a little bit, and by a little I mean a little bit, of this Morphe setting powder. I just like to do it just to set things in place and kind of prevent any creases. I'm doing all of this with my beauty blender. I really only use a makeup brush for bronzer and blush, because this is the only powder that I use for my face. I also find that like the beauty blender with powder thing is actually newer for me, and I really like it. I feel like it helps it not cake on so much, because the beauty blender is still a little bit damp, and I just feel like it really sinks into the skin a lot better and just makes it look a lot more natural. I'm also really not putting it like all over the face like I am, but I'm not using extra powder on my face, I'm just using what's left over in the Beauty Blender. Obviously, get that neck. Okay, so now that I'm done with my face, I'm going to continue on with what she's doing. So the next thing that she's doing is bronzer. For me, I kind of have a ritual that I do. I actually use 2 different ones, which is totally unnecessary because I feel like my actual shade is the shade that already does exist and I just have not rebought it yet. But I still use the classic Benefit Hoola bronzers. I do a little bit of the Toasted just in the beginning to really add some depth right here on the cheekbones, and then I go over it with my caramel shade. So I just mix these two realistically, and I do still have it, don't ask why. I have the original just Hoola Benefit. It's just completely shattered and broken and has nothing left, so we can't use that anymore. Let's bronze. So for this is the deeper shade. This is called just Hoola Toasted, and I'm very specific with putting it right here. It's not gonna look great in the beginning because it's very, very potent. And I just use this bronzing brush that I've had forever from Morphe. It was in the Jaclyn Hill collection. I know, but it's fine, it works. And I just kind of literally just do this. I also really like to put this on my forehead more because I just really enjoy that sun-kissed tan look, especially on the temples of your forehead. It's just kind of my go-to. A little bit on my nose, and then I go down the neck just a little bit before I go over all of this with the other shade. Okay, so now that that's done, I just literally go in with this, and I just, again, just one tap, and then tap off the excess, and then I just go over it. This one, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really messy with. I'm not being very like specific with where I put it. I almost use it like a face powder. However, since I'm using just what's left over on the brush, it's not like it's just putting bronzer all over my face, like, and it just works really well. So this should kind of give you just a general idea, and I just feel like this makes it look so natural, and I feel like that's really what she's going for in this look. It's just a very effortless and natural look, and that's what I loved about this look so much because it's what I've been doing for so long now for my day-to-day. Okay, so next up she is going in with just a little bit of blush. This is also one of my favorite things to do. Again, don't judge me for what this looks like, but I use the Milani Luminoso Baked Powder Blush. I've had this for quite some time and it is my absolute favorite. However, unfortunately, the glass part did break off, but she still works and she's still great and we use her every day. For this one, I just go in just a little bit. I do actually enjoy putting a little bit of blush on. This one in particular has just a little bit of glow to it, which I also really enjoy, and the color I just feel like really works very, very well with my skin tone, so it helps with that natural look.
Highlighter, just do like a little on the apples of it.
So the next thing that she goes into is highlighter. I use this ColourPop Stole the Show is my color that I have. I'm in love with it actually. It's the Super Shock Cheek highlighter. There we go. Jesus Christ. So for both her and I, it's just a little bit of highlighter on the tops of the cheekbones. I also like to put mine above my eyebrow just a little bit. I do put a little bit on my lip. And then I definitely love, love, love putting it on my nose. I'm not sure if she put it on her nose, but I just feel like this look from both of us is so similar that I'm just gonna kind of do how I like to do it myself as well. I do also always go in with some highlighter in the inner corner of my eyes. I just feel like it just gives it such a pop, especially since I'm not wearing heavy eyeshadow or anything like that. It just adds a little something and it helps you look awake, especially when you're someone like me who always looks dead. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole face. So you can see it just adds just a little bit of enhancement and a little bit of glow. I love how she was going highlighter crazy by putting it in her inner corners, and I'm over here like doing that every day. Okay, so it looks like next we are going into brows. So for me, I'm just using the Sephora brow pencil. This is my favorite to start with. I just outline my brows with this. What I'll typically do is go from the middle to the end of my brow and then just brush that through. And I follow up with this Benefit brow brush and then the Foolproof brow powder. And I feel like this just gives it a little bit more of a natural look. It's what I've done for pretty much my whole makeup career, and I just find that it works very well, as it does not create any harsh lines that I feel like maybe a pencil could up front in your brows. You also definitely never want to go heavy in the front of your eyebrows. One tip that I actually learned from a Shay Mitchell YouTube video with her makeup artist was that a lot of people, when they are drawing in their eyebrows, they will go and fill in more underneath here, when really you should fill in at the top more. That way it doesn't bring your brows down and closer to your eyelids. One tip if you ever wanted to know that. So as you can see, I just went from the middle here to the end here, and then now all I'm gonna do is just brush that through just to kind of clean up any harsh edges that may have occurred. Back in with that little brush and the brow powder. Just gonna start again only from the middle. You never ever want to start in the front. I'm gonna start in the middle and then just kind of bring some of that product towards the front of your brow. That way it gives it just a really nice and light look in the front. That way you don't get any harsh color right at the beginning of your brow. Okay, so as you can see, brows are filled. Okay, so for finishing the brows, I'm going to use a very similar product to hers. This is the Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax. I really like it. When I'm using this, I really like to fluff up the brows, especially when it's a natural, effortless type of makeup look. Afterwards, what you can do is you can just fluff them up really good. And then if you want to kind of clean it up, you can just go above and just kind of like brush the top hairs down. That way you still get that fluff look, but your brows aren't like going super crazy, especially if you maybe haven't gotten your brows done for a while, which I tend to forget to get mine done and they get really long. When I do this, it's like insane and it just does not look good. So if you just fluff it up all the way and then kind of just tilt back a little bit and brush those top hairs down. And then there you go. You have eyebrows again. Congratulations. Okay, so it looks like next up now we have eyeliner, which is a love and hate relationship for I think every person that does makeup. She is also using a liquid liner. Mine is the Kat Von D ink liner I have right now. It looks like she is using a brown one, which I would highly recommend for a natural look. I unfortunately do not have that. Another recommendation though that I would give is the Sephora liquid liner. I love that one so much. Don't even know why I didn't rebuy it. I just ran out and I can't remember if I willingly just bought this for some reason out of maybe convenience. The Sephora collection one I believe would probably be a little bit cheaper, and then also I preferred it a lot more. But I'm gonna shake this pen up and pray to the eyeliner gods that I don't fuck this up too much. Okay, so honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this is not the thickness that I usually go for. I did mess up a little bit. Like she says, honestly, the blessing of mascara over eyeliner saves your fucking life. Okay, so sadly, that's as good as it's gonna get. Is this my favorite eyeliner I've ever done? Absolutely not. Is it the worst? No, not at all. This is a really good thing to know though, is when you're doing your own liner, you do not have to copy like exactly what others are doing with their liner. Everyone has different eyelid shapes, and that's really important to know when you're doing something like liquid liner, because something that I really had to teach myself over a couple of years when I first started doing makeup.
Eyelines are sisters, not twins, I always tell myself.
She could not have been more right saying that eyeliner are sisters and not twins, and I think that is also something that we all need to keep in mind. We are not symmetrical, and that is okay. So next up, it looks like we're doing mascara. So I also go in with a eyelash curler every time that I do my makeup. There is never a day that I have not done this. For my mascara, the one and only that I have used for probably the last 4 years in a row now is the Benefit Bat Gal Bang. No, this video is not sponsored by Benefit. If Benefit wants to sponsor me, please do. Didn't realize how many products I use with them. This mascara is phenomenal. Okay, so next up, after mascara, we're finishing it off with lips. I do agree with her that especially for a makeup look like this one, where you're just kind of doing a very natural look, to do something that just enhances your lips rather than changes the whole entire color. For me, I'm going to be using the Milk Makeup lip and cheek. This can actually work as a blush and a lip. I prefer it for lip, but I do really like it for the cheek, especially if you're having a no makeup day and you just want to add a little bit of color. Just gonna put a little bit. This one is obviously pigmented, but it does ease up. So as you can see, all that does is just kind of add a little bit of orangey redness to your lips, and I think it's very, very cute, very natural. Okay, and so then this is the finished look. She goes in with some dry shampoo after this. I'm actually going to go ahead and just fix up my hair in the bathroom, and I'm also going to spray my face with some makeup setting spray and get the mascara off of my eyelids with a Q-tip. That is the finished look, and I will come back when everything else is complete to give you my final thoughts, comments, and concerns on Olivia's makeup look. Okay, so this is the completed look. Obviously, I did change where I was because I kind of forgot that I had to film an outro. However, I think it's adorable. It's actually so similar to what I already do every single day. And so I think this is a wonderful, everyday, natural look. And yeah, I don't really have any complaints. I love how much I related to her with how she thinks and does her makeup, and that we all struggle with liquid liner because that'll just never not be a struggle. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any other Vogue tutorials that you would want me to follow along with, or just anything in general, obviously feel free to comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye!